I've had a couple friends ask why I chose to become a founding donor at Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts, as most people know me as an entrepreneur or a businessman, not as a connoisseur of the arts. They teased me about becoming a patron of the arts. They said you're becoming stuffy, Jason. There have been times in my life when it seemed I didn't have time to enjoy much of the arts. It used to bother me a lot. And I found a quote by John Adams one time. In 1870, John Adams sent a letter to his wife, Abigail. He talked about his lack of time to do artistic things. In that letter, he explained his lack of artistic involvement this way. He said, "I could fill volumes with descriptions of temples and palaces, painting, sculptures, tapestry, porcelain, etc., etc., if I could have time. But I could not do this without neglecting my duty. I must study politics and war, that my sons may have liberty to study mathematics and philosophy. My sons ought to study mathematics and philosophy, geography, natural history, naval architecture, navigation, commerce, and agriculture, in order to give their children a right to study painting, poetry, music, architecture, statuary, tapestry, and porcelain." You see, it wasn't that he didn't appreciate the arts, but rather that he felt he had pressing concerns, and he was working on a legacy that would ensure others could have the freedom to enjoy these finer things in life. And then by contrast, there was this quote from Dead Poets Society that I loved. It was, "We don't read and write poetry because it's cute. We read and write poetry because we are members of the human race, and the human race is filled with passion. Now, medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for." So art matters. We all know it. But what about being a patron of the arts? That concept goes back quite a bit further in time. Indeed, it has existed in one form or another for as long as humankind has been artistic. There have always been people who would purchase or barter for artistic works, and that enabled the artist to produce more works or provide for themselves. But this was rarely a way to support themselves completely. So the phrase starving artist became common. Often artists had to have other means of employment, and the art itself was merely a hobby, which of course limited their ability to grow their talents and skills to the fullest. It wasn't until the Italian Renaissance that we saw the emergence of the patron of the arts as a more clearly defined role, with Lorenzo de' Medici being the most renowned of patrons. During this time, artists would find wealthy families or individuals who would purchase their works or support them fully by bringing the artist into their estate, providing home and resources and projects for them to work on. Often, the crown of the realm would commission great works in palaces and public buildings, churches and great halls for the public to admire. Now, patronage was a status symbol. Wealthy and powerful patrons would compete to recruit and retain the greatest artists. The aristocracy would proudly display the works to demonstrate their wealth, power, and their good taste. So let's get back to today. I've attended performances at the Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts for years, and have always been impressed with the beauty and design of the facility and the commitment of the people that work there. My admiration didn't end there, though. You see, their community involvement is fantastic. They operate a variety of programs ranging from Applause Awards, which celebrates Central Florida's most talented students, to educational community programs like the Disney Musicals in Schools program that engage people of all ages and skill sets from all walks of life. Now, we all know the global pandemic has affected all of us in dramatic ways, and the arts were particularly hard hit. In times of crisis, we tend to focus on material necessities. During these times, our attention is on caring for our families, businesses, and health, not on artistic expression or cultural engagement. The result is a time of adversity for all artistic and entertainment-based organizations. Many operations have simply given up in this time. But the Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts is not one of them. Through ingenuity and commitment, they worked to create methods to continue to deliver the arts to all of us, while accommodating the complexities of the pandemic world. The Front Yard Festival became a venue of choice, transforming into a well-thought-out, carefully constructed outdoor experience that incorporates health and safety protocols while still giving us the access to the entertainment experiences we so much appreciate. I took my family to a concert there recently, and it was fantastic. From a QR code scanned on my phone, food and drinks were ordered and delivered to our socially distanced box seats. The service was brisk, friendly, and accurate. Many organizations have put plans on hold for new or developing projects. Some opportunities have been lost forever. The Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts, however, has carefully, respectfully, but courageously moved forward with the Phase 2 project, Steinmetz Hall and the Green Room, to complete the facility. Steinmetz Hall is a wonder. It will be one of the world's most acoustically perfect halls. It's entirely encased in a concrete frame with over 400 steel and rubber isolation pads. These will deaden sounds from traffic and other external noises. The hall itself can literally transform in shape for different events by moving the 210-ton shell, changing the shape to form a perfect acoustical concert hall. Suffice to say, I was impressed, and I felt compelled to be more involved. Now, I've been very fortunate in my professional life. I have the privilege of leading some of the best people on the planet in my companies and find myself in a position to be able to do more for others as a result. I reflected on the roles of patrons and the importance of the arts in our lives. I decided to become a founding donor at the Dr. Phillips Center for the Performing Arts, and I'll be honest, it's more money than I've ever contributed to any one organization, but I think it's money put in the right place at the right time. The arts need and deserve our support to return in the post-COVID world with vibrance and strength. I see people who spend vast sums of money supporting their favorite sports teams and the universities they graduated from. I think we should be just as enthusiastic and engaged with supporting the arts. Just like those patrons from the Renaissance, I want to brag about my city and its rich culture, and demonstrate my good taste as well. And just like John Adams, I want to leave a legacy to my children that gives them the opportunity to engage fully with the best things life has to offer. If you think like me, I encourage you to visit the Dr. Phillips Center or even join me in helping to secure the future of the arts and support the great organizations that bring them to us. And that's why I chose to do it. Thanks. Have a great day.